Day one of the NFL Scouting Combine is in the books. Those big guys were out there moving. The linebackers were moving. We're going to recap that right here on the Wayne Breezy Show with special guest, the one and only, I call him the great Wizard of Oz himself, Mr. John Chapman. Stick around.
Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact. Overmotivated is an understatement. Gold-blooded to the core, got your squad hating. Breezy make it look easy. Breezy on everything like 05, 06, 7 Wheezy. This is not a gang. Yeah, we faithful in every way. And even though we on the East Coast, very loyal to the Bay. Heavy red and gold every day. And if you really a Niner fan, I know you can relate. Applying pressure with this content like Smaller Bear. We not accepting no slander about Trey, so beware. I stay in exclusively Niner hats. And I always tell the truth, this exclusively Niner facts. Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Yeah. Breezy this.
We back. What's going on, John?
Man, I love this, dude. I need this in my life. And so this is incredible being here on a Friday. I love Friday mornings now. And dude, there's stuff to talk about. There's new players. There's Niners news. There's all kinds of stuff. So pumped to be here with you today, man. And gosh, I love the NFL. I freaking love it.
Isn't it the most wonderful time of the year? Hey, co-host of Nitty Gritty Niners just jumped in. Mose knows, so he can come on. I see him doing his little dance in the background. What's going on, Mose?
Hey, listen, man, I jumped on. I didn't know what the format of the show today was. I was already excited to be on with my boy Breezy, but then I got my brother from another, John Chapman, on the show. Let's go!
Dude, I love it, man. Moses, hey, I know you got that no trade clause out there, but I'm just saying.
listen. See, this is why I'm glad I followed my first instinct. Me and my agent, we had a conversation. I was supposed to hold out. He wanted me to hold out. But I said, no, I can't do my family like that. I'm going to show up to work. I was a little late today. I got some things going on behind the scenes, some stuff going on at work. I got a new washing machine being delivered late. A lot of stuff going on. But I said, I'm going to make sure I'm going to show up to work. I'm within my 5-minute grace period, so I'm here.
I thought it was 7-minute grace period, but if you want to lessen it, it's on you. But you are here, and that's what I like to hear, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Wayne Breezy Show. We got members, we got subscribers. They're all here. I got to shout out my man Jerome Davis is in the house. I know people were talking about the Trey Lance thing. We have to have this conversation because he is the conversation we're going to have probably until we figure out who's named quarterback 1 for the San Francisco 49ers. Shadow Vision, I see your membership is here. It's clear, it's nice and green, man. Welcome to the membership crew. I need a name for my crew. So, like John, you do the CC. I don't even know.
Yeah, countdown crew. That's usually
crew. I need a crew. I need a name. I need a name. It's like shadow boxing or something like that. We need a name. Figure it out. We're gonna figure it out today. 49er Jeff is in the building. What's going on, family? Miss Debbie is in the building. My brother Steve is in the building. What's going on, family? Christy Marie, I see you out there. Jacqueline Knox starts the show off with the contribution. Good morning, Breezy and John. This is for Mose jumped in. You guys are so dope. Keep the great content coming. I got my eye on a few players. Hope they pan out for us. I'm curious to know what players you, Jacqueline, got your eye on, period. Like, I'm curious to know who you got your eye on. So feel free to put them in the chat. We'll check them out. All right. Shout out to everybody else that's out there, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in on this happy Friday. Today is defensive backs day. Cornerbacks and safeties, day 2 to Scouting Combine. It's going to be an electrifying day. It's going to be a lot of fast 40s. Does anybody, let me ask you this before we get started. Do you think anybody breaks that 4-2? What's the record? Dang it, 4-2,
4-2-2.
4-2-2, and that's John. Is that Hold
Yeah,
on,
it was Ross, right?
John. Yeah, Ross. Right? Is
Ross,
anybody
I
gonna
think it
break
was.
that 4-2-2?
Why?
Man, I say no. I go no all the time, and that's only because I'm not running. If I was running,
Hold on, I got something
Okay.
playing in the background from the
Uh-oh.
NFL Network, and I don't want to get fined. So let me make sure I mute that. I'm like, John got two voices going on, Steve Mariucci and John. All right, go ahead,
I
John.
like the mooch. I'd say no. I don't think anybody's going to break it. Usually I go against those things, but it's just so rare. Eventually it's going to go down. There's no doubt. People are getting faster. They're getting bigger. They're getting stronger. It's going to go eventually, but I don't think this is the year. I vote no almost every time. And if you're a betting person, I usually bet no. It's small payoffs, but
Okay.
any money's good money.
All right, and Mose, I got to ask you because Mose knows. Does anyone break the 4-2-2 record, the John Ross record?
Oh no, I agree with chat.
We can't.
It's tough. Like he said, somebody's gonna break it. I'm waiting for the day somebody runs a 4-2 flat.
Woo!
And if you talk to track athletes, like guys who run track, if you ask them, a 4.3 40 isn't fast at all.
Really?
They know guys that run 4.2s, 4.1s, sub
Hell
4.1s
no.
every day. No, if you ask track athletes, a 4.3 40 it's fast, but it ain't fast. Like they run that smooth.
Okay.
So I'm sure there will be a football player with a track background that'll break it, but I don't think it'll be this year.
Now we came really close. Oh, shout out to my man Chris. What's going on, family? We came super close last year. Jalen Darden, 4-2-3. I mean, he was 1 second. 1 second. I know they asked what Danny Gray's 40 for wasn't he a 4-4-1? 4-4.
No, I think
4-3-9.
4-3. I got it right here. Give me just a quick second here.
I got it right here
Danny.
too. Hold on.
Oh,
Danny
he beat
Gray.
me to it.
No?
4-3-3. Yeah, 4-3-3.
4-3-3. Yeah. Okay.
We need to see that speed on the field, man. That 4.33 can't be on the sidelines.
Well, I mean, I think we can see it on the field if you go with a quarterback that can get the ball down the field. I'm just saying. Quick shout out to our sponsors over there at Residency. Make sure you guys go to Residency. Use the promo code SFBreezy, all right? And you can save on your purchase. It's right there. The link is also in the description of the show, all right? Go ahead and get your Residency caps right there. Residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezy. And don't forget to go to the website really quick since we're talking about apparel. www.twben.com/shop and cop your Wayne Breezy tees. They looking fresh and fitted. Shout out to my man Ty. It feels good, man. The cotton is beautiful, man. It's that soft cotton. It's not that hard cotton. It's real good. Feels good on the skin. You know,
I got mine. It's on the way. It's on the
Yours
way.
is
I'm just
good,
hoping I'm going to look as good, as Wayne does with his shirt. Wayne looking
course
good
you will.
over here, man. Look at this dude.
Hey, man, that's that 5 a.m. getting up, going to the gym for the past
Right.
month
You
and a
see him
half.
sitting there with that black on looking all jacked and stuff
Flexing on him, man.
like you about to fill in for Azeez Al-Shaair and play linebacker.
Let me explain something to you. Every year at the combine, I think I'm going to participate in the combine. I get my mind and body right. You feel me? I'm telling you right now, I feel like I could compete with some of these 20-year-olds, bro, until I run on that track for about 5 minutes and I'll be like, listen, y'all got this, dog. Y'all got this. All right, so make sure you go ahead and cop that out. Also, I got word from our sister Peachy. She just got out of surgery. She's headed home, a successful surgery. Keep her up in your prayers. All right, send her some love this weekend. If you got to reach out to her via Twitter, make sure you guys go ahead and do that and do so. She's doing good. Let's keep her in our spirits. All right, Peachy, we love you. Praying for you. All right, man. Look, let's recap the combine. That's why we're here. Day one, we got 3 position groups: defensive linemen, defensive edge rushers, linebackers. 49ers related news. They've been talking and meeting and pre-meeting with a lot of players. This is normal. All right. That doesn't mean these players are going to get signed, but these are players pretending they're interested in. John, why do teams meet with these players pre-workout, combine?
Usually it has something to do with either health or any type of question with their past, whether, they missed a season or they transferred or there was something that happened in high school. And this is the biggest issue with what we do and all these projections and draft boards and all that stuff. We don't get to meet with the players. We don't get the health checks. They're just giant question marks. And so that's the biggest difference between what we do and what they do. Now, the 49ers, they're interesting because if you go back to 2020, they did not draft one player they met with. They didn't draft one. And right. Then if you look at the other 4 years, half of their picks usually are people they met with. And so is this going to be, one of those times where it's like, okay, they're just doing a smoke front? I don't think so because they're picking so late. But you do have to pay attention to the positions that they're meeting with. They have met with more safeties than any other position. 7 that I have on the board right now. And so that's what's important, right? So the safeties that they're looking at, for example, where are their draft kind of projections going to be? And they're all almost 3rd and 4th, 5th rounders. I think that tells us something. So that's what I take away from it.
Mose, any other takeaways from why the teams meet with these players pre-workout, pre-combine?
For me, I think it's just to get a sense of the player. I think if there's somebody that's on their board that they like, part of these meetings is to get a feel for who this kid is as a person. We talk about, what these kids go through during the combine week. Yes, it's on-field drills. Yes, it's testing. But a lot of it is these meetings with the coaches. They want to see, okay, does the person match up to the player that we see on film? Will this guy fit our locker room? Is he made of the right stuff? That's why they ask those weird questions to try to throw them off. They want to play ping pong and darts and all these other kind of games to get a feel for their competitiveness. So for me, in addition to what John said, it's to get a feel for who that player is as a person. Will they fit the locker room? And are they made of the right stuff to be a part of this organization?
Yo, immediately when you say the right stuff, man, I get into the hey, If you guys don't know who New Kids on the Block are,
oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. I immediately go into trance on the right stuff, man. Very well said by both of you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't call it. It's like playing Russian roulette. I have no idea who the 49ers are going to draft. I know who I feel like I would like for them to draft based on where we're drafting. If we're not trading up, there are a lot of players that John has, rated and ranked and where they're going to go. Mose as well. They both do their own draft boards, etc. And they do their rankings on all of these players that are coming out. The cool thing that I like about some of the players that they got a chance to interview, it was some of the players I got a chance to interview, which means that I am on a good trajectory, on scouting players. I'm not a scout. I don't want to be a scout, but I do feel like I'm understanding more and more each day on how the 49ers operate. And I will say this, I guarantee you the majority of their draft picks will have played in the Senior Bowl.
They always go after that. And Adam Peters, he had an interview with Matt Barrows. It was just, a written article. There was no audio to it that I know of. But they asked about the Senior Bowl, and Adam Peters basically said this. It takes away so many question marks because you get to see, one, guys that are changing positions, right? So, like if somebody was a linebacker and now they're going to be an edge guy, or an edge guy, now they're going to be a linebacker or whatever, you get to see that. If it's an offensive tackle, they get some guard work for the first time, and you get to see them do good on good. All those guys are going to be in the league. And then the third thing, 49ers run an outside zone. You don't get to see a lot of that in college. But like last year when the Jets were the coaches for the Senior Bowl, you got to see all those guys in the exact same scheme that the 49ers run. So it takes away a lot of those variables that you have to kind of interpret. And so Senior Bowl is huge.
I agree. The real RMP says, I'm currently working for Mark Wahlberg RV Airstream. Wow, that's cool. Tell him we said what up, man. Send us and his brother was in New Kids on the Block.
Donnie.
Marky Mark had his own thing.
Donnie.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. All right. Look, let's
but Mark was the drummer though. Mark was in the New Kids on the Block band. Yeah, he was in the band, and then he did his own because he got sent to jail for a little while. But that's another story.
Whole nother story. Austin, represent Austin. Let's talk about the defensive linemen. Let's talk about the big guys up front. We'll get to the edges. Anyone impress you? Anyone that you feel like are 49er, fit. There's a guy I like that John definitely was walking me off the edge, but I felt like my guy performed better than your guy at the combine, John.
He did. You're talking about the Texas boys?
You got dang right. I'm talking about them Texas, all about the Texas boys. All right. So I'm just curious to know, John, like how much they're going to go off the test, how much they're going to go off a tape. Both players played well on film, so that it's not like they didn't play well. I'm talking about Moro Ojomo and John. Who was your guy?
Kenneth Coburn.
Right.
Now, Keandre Coburn. Sorry.
Keandre.
And like,
Keandre.
man, after you asked me on my show on Tuesday, I was like, damn, man, I missed that question. Because here's the thing, they're both defensive tackles for Texas, completely different players. You have Coburn, who is more the Hassan Ridgeway, who is also a Texas guy, 330 plus, stiff, mountain of a man, run blocker guy. Then you got Ojomo, who's 290. So, like, you're talking 40 pounds difference, even though they play the same position. And Ojomo showed out, twitched up, crazy athletic. And so, again, how I put it is Hassan Ridgeway versus Kevin Givens. You know what I mean? What do you want? And I think they both kind of fit that thing. And you are correct. Ojomo had much better day.
If you're a Patreon member, did I not compare Ojomo to Kevin Givens? If you're on the Patreon, I did the breakdown on the players that I drafted because he was one of my mock players, and I compared him to a Kevin Givens, but just with the better upside. Like he's younger, he's quicker, he's stronger. Coming out of college, but that's that comparison. You know what I'm saying? He's lighter in weight, but he's a wreck. Mose, do you know these Texas boys, or do you have somebody else that really stood out to you that you feel would be a great fit for the 49ers? I think that's what we care about, because there's some guys we're not going to get. Like, I'm gonna call him Double A. He's moved up in the draft. There's no way we're getting him.
No, Northwestern kid, Tomo Adubaware.
Yeah, when I was at the Senior Bowl, I was like, yes, right, because he was projected to go third round, and I'm like, yes, and then
he went stupid
dumb.
Adetomiwa Adebaware is how you pronounce it. 6'2", 282. He ran a 4.49. 37.5-inch vert, 10.5 broad jump,
Here we
27 reps on the bench press. He went stupid. If we're looking at DTs, though, I am a fan of both of the Texas boys. I lean more towards Ojomo than I do Coburn, just because of the explosiveness. And somebody that kind of matches his physical stature, if we're talking about a Kevin Givens type player, defensive tackle from Oklahoma, Jalen Redmond, also had an outstanding day.
Next person.
4.81 40, 34.5-inch vertical, 9.8 broad jump. He did every single drill, which I love, because you see a lot of these guys performing some drills and not others. He could have been like everybody else. He performed in every single combine test. He also put up 27 reps on the bench press, 6'2", 291 pounds. So he's kind of in that same realm as Ojomo. I think Ojomo has him beat. He has longer arms. So I think that's kind of what you want with your defensive tackle, just a little bit longer arms. But
real quick before you move off of Redmond, I thought I'm with you 100% because he missed 5 games last year with a knee issue.
Sure
and
did.
So for him to go out there and do everything that was huge, because again, what do we talk about, like with why the combine's so important? We don't get health checks. And so we got to see, all right, this dude's healthy. And now he obviously would have went through a myriad of tests with every single team. But yeah, Jalen Redmond, I had a big question mark grade on him just because I wasn't sure health-wise. Yeah, I think that's taken off. And the 49ers have stayed away from these players since Trent Baalke left since that 2017 draft.
They did.
But yeah, I think
Davis last year, though.
They did. Late 6th, right? And that was because, we had 4 defensive tackles on expiring contracts.
True.
And so, yeah, that was the whole red shirt philosophy. I don't think Redmond would fall into that category. And I think he will go a little earlier than 6th round. I got a 5th on him right now.
Now, you bring up a great point, John. Is that something that we want to do again? And Breezy, you kind of mentioned it. We went with the Javon Kinlaw, knowing he had the knee issues at South Carolina. We go with Kalia Davis coming off the ACL tear, redshirt year, cool. Like you mentioned with Redmond, yes, he put up a great day. He's shown that he's healthy. Are we worried about those 5 games he missed with the knee issue? And could this be something lingering similar to Javon Kinlaw? Like, do we want to go that route again, even if it is a 5th or 6th round pick?
I'll say this. I don't mind gambles late. I do not like gambles early. So first 4 rounds, I say no. 5th round on, all right, swing for the fences. What's it going to cost you?
I agree
Worst
with
case, Tariq Castro Fields doesn't make the roster and he's, somewhere else. That's not a huge loss, in my opinion.
And I think the issue with drafting Javon Kinlaw, like with the first pick, like that first round pick, was the
13,
fact that, like, oh my gosh, like he had to replace DeForest Buckner. And
Right.
unfortunately, it just, I mean, he flashed his rookie year because he played the majority of this year. But how is it that, when then he got some NFL, weight put on him, and then all of a sudden the knees started flaring up again. And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? He started getting hit by them big offensive linemen. And so it's unfortunate. So we took a big gamble with a first round pick. I don't think you want to gamble with your first round picks. I think you want to try to make sure you're hitting home runs with the first round picks, like John said. I do like the kid. There's another kid that they actually interviewed that they brought in, and that is the kid out of, is it South Carolina, Zach Pickens, I believe. And here's the thing that I like when I look at these big dudes, right? And I know people are like, damn, if they could run the 40 fast, that's crazy. And I agree. But sometimes I'm really checking that 10-yard split.
10-yard split. Yes,
I'm really checking that 10-yard split, bro. That 10-yard split. Now, was it Kalijah Cansey from Pittsburgh had the quickest.
Elijah Clancy? Yeah.
Elijah Cansey. He had the quickest.
He's small.
1.64. He's only 6 feet, right? Like 6'1".
He measured in at 6'1", 281.
Yeah, so like that's tiny. Another Pittsburgh guy. What's the Pittsburgh guy? What did Aaron Donald measure in? Is he 6'3"?
No, he's shorter. He's like 6'1".
He's like 6'1". He's a little bit taller. They gave him 6'2" on the numbers.
Okay,
but he's only a few inches taller than Clancy.
I brought that comparison in because they came from the same school, and
yep.
it's
like they're pretty much the same build.
The same.
And Clancy, I think Clancy ran a faster 40 than Aaron Donald.
Dude, what's his 40? I got his split. His split was the quickest. It was 1.64.
Yeah, his split was crazy.
So when we're naming these guys, their stock has risen, which means 9 times out of 10, depending on if there's a run on a position, they're going to be gone off the board, right? And so remember, we don't pick till 99. And so unless we trade up, like there's going to be a lot of guys going. So that's why I'm looking at the Ajomos, the what is his name? Keanu Benton's, like those type of players that possibly may fall. How about Javon Dexter Sr.? It looked like he had a pretty good day out there in his combine as well. So defensive tackles, I feel like we're definitely going to fill them in. I'm hoping we're not in that gambling spot. But listen, we don't draft till 3rd. We got to try to hit a home run. And it's probably going to be like who's available on the board. So like, who do you think out of these linemen is the best available for the 49ers? Who do you think is going to be the best fit for the 49ers defensive tackles?
With what pick though?
With the first pick, because
with 99?
Yeah,
you've got to have somebody fall, but there's definitely guys that are going to be there. We talked about the Texas guy. I do think Mike Morris, your Michigan guy, I thought he had a bad day.
Why was he running with the edge rushers?
Yeah. Well, he's 6'5", 275.
But he's an edge rusher. Look, don't get it twisted. He lines up on the end. He has 0 speed. What, he ran a 4.9, 4.8?
4.9.
Well, I think he's trying to go the route that Rashawn Gary went, right? He's similar.
Okay.
But even Rashawn Gary, most of his snaps are interior now.
Yes.
So, he's a tweener, which the 49ers like. And I thought late 2nd round grade is about where he was going to go. I didn't think that he had the day that you thought, because his whole selling point was crazy twitched up athlete. I didn't think that showed. No. And so now he falls back a little bit, 3rd round to where the 49ers could get a guy like him. Like, he was a guy I wasn't going to go all in on. Now I'm going to, because I think he's going to be a potential option. Instead of going 50 to 60, now we're talking 70 to 80, a little bit of a range. So
he he's kind of like the Charles Omenihu type of character, right? So it's like Omenihu, good edge, solid edge, but became a great interior guy. Like he became good at interior this year. Like that's what they were kind of like getting him into. This kid is already really good on the edge, the kid from Michigan. So I could see them this being that piece, especially if they don't re-sign a Charles Omenihu because he's going to get a contract to play elsewhere more than likely. He'd probably go back to Houston. So
I just stole that comp, by the way. So just so you know, it's mine,
bro,
now.
there's no such thing as stealing, bro. We just borrow. You ain't even got the HT it. I don't even know what that shit means.
Now there is one guy that you brought up earlier, Zach Pickens.
Zach Pickens.
That's what I was looking at.
And it's a double C, which makes me like him so much
Zach.
more. Zacch, Zach, which is awesome.
I wonder
Zach,
if his mom and dad named him after watching Saved by the Bell when they were yelling Zach. You know what I'm saying? And
Zach
added
Attack, baby.
Yeah, just asking.
Now, the 49ers had a visit with him. You guys said that you liked him. Listen to this. This is the thing that stood out to me most. 2020, 2021, 2022 SEC All Academic Honor Roll.
Nice.
Niners love those dudes. 82 out of 90 players on the 90-man roster last year, academic all something.
Smart.
This dude was a running back in high school. A running back in high school.
So are you trying to say he has vision?
He's got everything, man. I'm a big Zach Pickens guy. And he was freaking teammates with Javon Kinlaw. Like,
right.
I like it. There's a lot of check marks. A lot of check marks.
Listen. I like the Gamecock players. I mean, Debo panned out. Kinlaw didn't. Is this the year we go back there? There's two players I want from South Carolina, though.
Listen, we tend to go to the same wells. If you were like, we tend to, if there's a school where there are connections, we know the coaches, we can kind of get insight into the player in a more in-depth sense, then we will hit that same well. And I mean, the way he tested, 4'8", 174 split, 6'4", 291, 34 3/4 inch arms. Like, so he's got the height, he's got the length. I mean, he fits with what we want to do on the interior of our defense.
There's two players I want from South Carolina. I'm not.
Now, you know what's crazy? I'm sorry. Did you know? I didn't know this. We have drafted South Carolina players. That's the second most the 49ers players have ever drafted from a school of South Carolina.
Really?
Yes. You guys know what number one is? It's close to San Francisco.
Well, I tell you what. And you know why? Those players show up in the Senior Bowl. They play well and they show up in the Senior Bowl. So these guys stock started rising in the Senior Bowl. I promise you, I was there. Their stock, and it's something that they just play very well. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the pick. They actually met with him, like you said. They interviewed him. I believe, and I never talked about this, but they really want to get to know these players in these interviews. It's not just about health and why didn't you do this or do that. They probably ask him some dumbass questions like, what's your favorite ice cream, and where can you get it, and what if you got to go out late at night, what would you do? They'll ask him some really questions, like just to see that's the test. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, John. Like and Mo's like meeting with some of the players. Some of them just don't interview well. They don't know how to talk. I was like, well, this is awkward. Who did I called? I interviewed a player and I was like, I felt like I failed because it just was awkward as fuck. It was the most awkward interview. And then I met with some other players and it was going back and forth. We were having fun. We were laughing, but it's just that way. So I'm hoping some of these players, get their interview skills on. Go take a communications course on YouTube or something.
Wait, you remember Fred Warner, his rookie year? Like, he was boring as hell in his press conferences. They're boring. Now he's like the best there is.
Yeah, man. Even Nick Bosa's coming around.
Right. Adding a little bit more personality, adding a little bit more energy.
He's not always.
I think part of it is getting the feel of it.
Okay.
Understanding the types and the style of questions that you're going to receive. But then you're right. They just don't have that. They're not very good communicators. They're not people who are conversationalists. So
they're not Mo's. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not Mo's.
Right.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
Let's flip it over to the defensive edge rushers.
Oh, you didn't tell us your other South Carolina guy. I'm sorry.
Because I'm
I cut
going to
you
hold
off.
it to the end of the show.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I like it.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm going to
it's
hold it
good.
to the end of the show. So let's get to these edge rushers because we got to start with the obvious. Who's probably? Do you think he's going to be Will Anderson, or who's going number one as an edge rusher? That's what I'm curious because he's definitely going to probably be the second, if not the first one off the board.
The only way Will Anderson won't be the first edge rusher off the board is if Tyree Wilson has an outstanding pro day. Like he's got to run like low 4.4, maybe sub 4.4 to be like he might go number one,
guys,
because he has everything else. If he can run low 4.4, sub 4.4 at his combine and at his pro day, and then do all of the other drills and look smooth, and his medical checks out because he had a season-ending foot injury, I believe. So he's coming back from that. If that checks out, he runs well and looks good on those on-field drills, it's a possibility he could be the first edge rusher.
Trent Baalke was picking before almost any other team, it would be Tyree
Wilson. Because just like Aiden Hutchinson was consensus number one edge rusher off the board, here comes Trent Baalke, and I'm taking Trayvon Walker.
He went with Trayvon Walker,
which was wrong.
No, I still think
clearly
big dummy. Okay, I didn't think like that. But why not Nolan Smith? Why is he not moving up to number one?
So I'll say this: Nolan Smith had a day. Obviously, he is not a complete edge.
Correct.
I love Nolan Smith, and I had a late first round grade on him before the combine. He's going in the 20s, worst case scenario. But he struggles against the run. Like, he's a one-trick pony, but that is the most exclusive trick that you can find in the NFL. D Ford was my comp for him before the combine. And he is just elite burst, bend, speed off the edge. And that's really all that he does.
I mean, if you plug and play him now, I mean, that's sacks. I mean, that's speed. I mean, they comped him to Hassan Reddick yesterday.
Yes, they did.
And I'm saying to myself, okay, I know we're not going to get him.
No.
But we can't let we can't let him go.
We can't let Seattle get him.
We can't let Seattle, which is guess where he's projected to go.
No, that's where I put him in my draft for the first round. I was like, as much as I hate to do this as a rival, if Seattle can get him with their second pick in the first round, that's nuts. And that's a great pick for them.
That's a great pick for them.
So if they go quarterback early, then I think they go here.
Yeah.
So they pick 5. I don't want them to go quarterback early.
What if
they get Tyree Smith? What if they get Tyree or Brees? Some of those guys. Like, what if they go edge early? That's what I want them to do, because I don't want them getting a quarterback in Nolan Smith. That would piss me off. I would much rather them get Tyree, who we just talked about, and then like a wide receiver or whatever. I don't want them getting a quarterback. And
I had in my first round mock draft, I had Bryce Young fall into them at 5.
Dang.
And then them get Nolan Smith.
Damn. I mean, trajectory says you go quarterback first with your first pick.
No.
You don't want that, but that's kind of like what happens.
That's what they should do. That's what they should do.
We want them to be,
if they get Will Levis, I won't be too upset. If they get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud and then get Nolan Smith, I'll be hot. If they get Will Levis, I won't care.
See, I don't want them to get Anthony Richardson. That's my concern.
That too.
I don't want that to happen. Because he sits behind Geno. I don't want that.
Why do I feel like we're going to be glued to the first round?
We have to be. We have to be.
Yeah.
Because the Cardinals get 3.
Lots of alcohol.
If they get Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson, that means we got to deal with a potential elite pass rusher for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
If they pan out.
Yeah.
And then we have to see what Seattle does with 2 first-round picks.
Russell Wilson still screwing the Niners.
Still screwing the Niners. Let's take a quick
fails.
Contribution break from my brother Eddie G. Since Wayne Breezy, John Chapman, and Mose knows this is a panel of great 49er minds. Love y'all and keep the great content coming. Can't wait for this season. Let's effing go. Appreciate you, Eddie, man. Appreciate you. God dang it. Ugh. All right, let's talk about these edge rushers, man. Which of these edge rushers are 49er, worthy?
They met with two that we know of. Isaiah McGuire out of Missouri, and then Akina. This is Mo's going to have to help me on this one. Inuchukwa from Rice, who I didn't even have a write-up on. I had 293 write-ups done before the combine, and sure enough, 3 of their meetings were with none of those. so
they met with 3 because they met with Byron Jones from
Tennessee
as well.
I missed that one then too. So got to add that one to the list. Thank you. And that dude is a burner.
It's either Ine or Ina Chukwu.
Being from Texas is just like next to a handicap. I swear, man, I can't pronounce half the words.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. I wish they can give us an audio clip or something. I try to wait for them to say the name first, and then
they honestly, like, at the beginning of the combine, like, they should do something like Sunday Night Football does when they interview all the players.
Right.
Dak Prescott, quarterback. Now, like,
let them
interview. They like say your name so we know how to pronounce.
Listen, I can get Ebukam, and I still don't even know if we're saying that right. Is it Ebukam or is it Ebukam? Is it Ebukam or Menahu? I don't know. I just go for it. You know what I mean? But yes, they did interview 3 of these guys, which means that they're 9 times out of 10 gonna go edge rusher. Does this affect Drake Jackson's role in any way?
No,
I don't think so.
No, you need so many. They only have 2, man.
I know.
And they only have 2.
And I was
we love depth. We love competition. We love rotation. I don't think that it has anything to do with his role.
Great point, Mose. And this year, why not go cheap depth? So last year we paid for depth, and it was cost efficient. Like, we didn't spend that much money on it, right? But now you could draft some players with 10 picks. This is why I don't think that they trade any picks, because now they can still get quality players, and later on in the rounds 3 through 6, I would say you can still get some really good studs depending on the positions you're looking at. And now you can pay, draft pick money opposed to paying free agent money, which is like longer money. And so I feel like I was talking to somebody on Instagram. It was like, oh, we don't need an edge. We need this. We need that. It's like, no, we need an edge. I love Drake Jackson. I think Drake Jackson starts opposite, Nick Bosa. But at the end of the day, we also can use a guy like the double A. I can't say his name. To come in here and just rush and get you some sacks off the edge with the freakish arms and attributes, or any one of these guys that we're talking about. I really like Byron Young out of Tennessee. Got a chance to talk to him at the Senior Bowl. And I got a chance to watch him play. I got a chance to watch both Byron Youngs play. I like the Alabama one as well. You can see I probably mocked him in a couple of my drafts. But the Tennessee kid, great story. They talked about his story. And I really feel like that can be a kid that can come in here if he falls 99. So I'm always at 99. And guys, don't get it twisted. Our 99th pick is going to change every time they change the positions, because we're going to see some of these other players play. But if we were going edge at 99, who you going with, Mose?
Listen, I was excited about Byron Young too until he ran that 4.43.
Slow.
I like him up draft boards.
Yeah.
I was excited about Robert Beal until he ran a 4.48. I think the guy that I'm looking at, another Senior Bowl guy, Central Michigan, Thomas Incoon. I like what he was able to put on film. 4.66 in the 40, 1.65 split. That's a really good split. 23 reps in the bench press. I think he can give us a little bit of position versatility. Maybe moving to the inside because he's 6'2", 262. So, in how we move Omenahu inside and Jordan Willis inside, he doesn't have the height of those guys, but he has the size and he has the power to do that. So maybe in those later rounds, 3rd or 4th, Thomas Incoon could be a name that we should be looking out for.
Listen, if you guys aren't a part of the Patreon, matter of fact, I did it live here, so the episode is actually live on this channel right here. Who did I draft as an edge rusher? It was Thomas Incoom. I told you, pay attention to these players. They might scout and break them down differently. I do mine on the Patreon, but listen, I'm telling you, he performed very well at the combine. He performed very well at the combine. All right. Before I get your take, John, at pick 99, All in Sports Betting wants to know about Zach Harrison.
I like him. Ohio State kid. The thing that I wrote down in my notes 3 times long. We talked about Tyree. This dude just long, 36 and a quarter arms, 10-inch hands. Like he's again, Charles Omenihu type, Arden Key type build. I've got a 4th round grade on him. So again, pick 99, I think fits perfectly. And then one guy I want to throw out there is Jose Ramirez, Eastern Michigan. I thought he was a lot of fun. Again, he's completely different type of edge. He's 6'2", 242, smaller size guy, but first step burst. I want as the edge position for the 49ers, I want 2 guys, whether one's free agency, one's draft, vice versa, both draft, don't care. I want a speed guy that's just a pass rush specialist speed guy.
Yes.
And then I want an all-around defensive end. So Zach Harrison, all around. Jose Ramirez, speed, go get it off the edge. Pass rushing specialist.
Like Jose Ramirez, had the fastest 3-cone time. And if you want to know about the 3-cone drill, all right, we'll talk a little bit about it, but that's one of those drills that Kyle Shanahan owns in on. Like that is an important drill. 6.95. He got through the 3-cone drill in less than 7 seconds. My guy Byron Young, 7.19 seconds, and then a sleeper. No one's talking about this kid, Isaiah Land, out of Florida A&M. He's also an edge rusher. Keep your eye on him. I know he performed. Pay attention to their pro day at Florida A&M. I'm hoping he can run a little better, but I think he can fall and he could be a problem for the San Francisco 49ers. Like he could be a really good piece for the 49ers. Isaiah Land out of Florida A&M. All right, John. Did you give us your guy at 99?
If I was going to edge, I mean, this is kind of, I'm melling it in a little bit, but Isaiah McGuire, the 49ers met with him, Mizzou guy, 6'4", 268. He's just a combination of physical traits and a great run defender. So he fits the mold of the every down defensive end edge that can just play every down. Not a pass rushing specialist, but he's just a consistent football player who plays edge. So that is a perfect fit. I have him going at the end of the 3rd. Like it's a culture fit. It's a team fit. It's a draft value fit.
Like the pick. Mose, like the pick?
Not for me personally. I what John said is absolutely right all around. Player, he can kind of do a little bit of everything. But because he doesn't specialize in one thing, like we already know we have Nick Bosa on the other side. So what John said earlier, finding, one guy who can do a little bit of everything and one guy that is a full speed rusher, he fits that. But for me, I would look elsewhere for that all around guy.
It's not sexy enough for you.
Yeah, no.
It's not Wayne Breezy workout method enough for you.
Right. It's not sitting there looking stocky in the fresh Wayne Breezy tee. It's not doing it for me. I would love to get both of your takes on Isaiah Foskey, a name that has some cachet to him. Notre Dame guy, 6'5", 264, ran a 4.58, 1.66 split. To me, when I watched his combine, what kind of had me on the downturn with him on field drills to me didn't look good. He didn't look smooth. He looked stiff. His change of direction didn't look good. First step quickness didn't look good. So I'd be interested to know what you guys thought about Isaiah Foskey.
I wrote in my notes, needs time to get up to speed, like in every single snap, like a slow first step. And Wayne, he's really big on this guy in free agency. My athletic comp for him is Marcus Davenport. So like that type of player. So yeah, I like him. And a big reason why I don't have a lot on him, I don't think he's going to be there at 99. I've got a late 2nd round grade on him.
Yeah, but I think he's going to go. But
I'd love him. I would love him.
Okay.
It's funny how you comped him, the guy that I want, and then NFL comps him at Yannick Ngakoue.
Yannick Ngakoue.
That's the
With
guy I
the
want.
free agents this year that we want the 49ers to kind of look into. Listen, I watched them at the Senior Bowl, and you guys, like everything that you guys said is exactly what I was watching. Now, he had a couple of times where he was winning his one-on-one reps, and you were just like, yes. Like, you know what I mean? He was dominant. He smacked one of the running backs in the backfield. And I mean, when I say smack, I mean stood him up. It might have been Cameron Peoples out of Appalachian State, and he's a big back. And for this big guy to like just stand him up in the run game in the backfield for a tackle for loss was amazing. But I don't know if he can do it on like, is he going to be consistent with that? You know, that's my key. And so if you're saying he has a slow get off, which is the first step, what better place to come to than San Francisco to get right, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be with Chris Kocurek. Chris Kocurek can work you into that first step. This kid has tools. I like that he was a 4.58. What is the typical 40 speed we want from our edge rushers? Because Nick Bosa was slow as hell compared to these guys, right?
Well, I wouldn't say slow as hell, but that's not how he wins. Nick Bosa wins with technician, which is, I mean, that dude is just consistent, and it's up here, and it's with his hands.
Not comparing him. I was just thinking of speed.
Yeah.
So
but he was still quick though. I mean, Bosa wouldn't, slouch. Where's my thing?
What did Bosa run in his 40, y'all? I'm just curious.
Here we go. I got it right here. Nick Bosa ran a 4.79, which was 76th percentile for edge rushers.
Okay. So, I mean, I like this kid's split at 166. He has a pretty good 34-inch vertical jump, 10.5 broad jump. Most talked about that. His shuttle was good too, 4.41. But his three cone was good. He's in the top 10 of the three cones as an edge rusher. You know, that's important. Getting through these drills, he has the tools. It's just when you put on the pads, you got to play against 11 on 11.
Right.
It's kind of like where he struggles. So we'll have to see.
But you make a good point. Any organization or team that can take what he has as raw talent and ability and mold it to be what we need it to be, it would be us.
It would be us.
Working with a Nick Bosa, working with a Chris Kocurek, working with our defensive line.
Working against Trent Williams. Like,
yes.
Shoot, that's right.
Yes.
I mean, you heard Nick Bosa talk about it. Nick said, what did Nick say on the Richard Sherman podcast? He said, man, I want to be the best player out there too, but unfortunately I can't because Trent Williams is on the team. Like, that's crazy. And Nick Bosa's like the best player. Like, you know what I mean? So that's crazy. That's really, really, really good iron sharpening iron. And I'm hoping like the 49ers continue that trend. They continue to do that. Really good edge rushers. I think there are more edge rushers than defensive tackles. So I think the edge rusher class is a little bit deeper this year than the defensive tackle. So if we reached on a defensive tackle early in that third round, I wouldn't be surprised, especially if there's a guy with a really good fit. And we want them to get in there with Chris Kocurek. We talked about our guys. Let's get to these linebackers, man, because this is my position, running back and linebacker. I've grown from the hard-hitting linebackers like the Patrick Willises and linebackers, the Brian Urlachers, like those guys, and so the Mike Singletary, like those guys. I've grown from that because football has changed. And
they don't make them that way anymore.
They can't because football it's faster. So now linebackers typically are safeties that used to play safety converted into linebackers typically. And so when I think of a linebacker, I'm thinking of a linebacker that can stop the run, but it can also cover. You know, has the speed and quickness to cover and has the brains to understand if it's going to be a pass or a run. Doesn't get fooled too much. And then I feel like we could say that Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the league that does both.
Yes.
I don't think it's arguable. I think he's the best in the league that does both. And so I feel like I love Dre Greenlaw. I love his prototype. He's also a great coverage and a great stopping in the run. But the 49ers have some players on the team. They have Marcelino McCrary-Ball that they signed to a one-year deal. Curtis Lofton is going to be there. Azeez Al-Shaair more than likely will not be there. the 49ers are going to draft the linebacker.
And Oren Burks. I think Oren Burks is starting over all those guys, though, as the number 3. That's just me. I like what Oren Burks put on tape this year, man.
Breaking news, flash.
Okay.
You heard it right here.
I'm telling you, man, that dude, he balled out this year. And it was limited snaps. I think he only played about 75 snaps or something whenever, one of the linebackers were hurt and we were in our 4-3. But, man, he was incredible. I thought he played consistently great this year. That would be my number 3 heading in there. Him and Marcelino McCrary Ball. Those guys would be bad lending
And
out.
then maybe Marcelino takes over his spot on special teams. I like it. I like it a lot. But I still think we draft a linebacker.
Yes.
So,
oh, yeah.
Let's talk about these linebackers. Now, which linebacker stood out to you the most? We'll go with Mose and then John. And then we'll sit here and talk about which one we feel like is going to fit the 49ers. Which one would you pick for the 49ers to draft?
As far as who stood out to me the most, it's got to be Clemson's Trenton Simpson. Like he only did the 40 and then the bench press.
Yeah.
But the 40 was enough. And even if you watch his 40, he ran a 4.43 40, taking a false step or a wide step within the 10-yard split. Still had a 1.55, and he was weaving up and down the line. They had a shot from like a POV angle at the 40-yard line, and you could see him not running in a straight line. I think he could clean that up and run even a faster 40 than the 4.43 he put on tape there. And I think he's going to go to Clemson's combine. He's going to do the other tests. He's going to do the field drills well. He looked absolutely amazing. You put on tape, he can do it all. He may fall to the second round just because there are some deficiencies in his game. And the talent that's in this first round pool may push him to early second round. But him putting that 4.43 on tape kind of solidified his stature as one of the best linebackers in this class.
All right. We got one for Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. John?
Man, here's my problem with the linebackers. There's guys I like, and then I look at where they're projected to go draft-wise, and I'm just like, man, I have a very difficult time seeing the 49ers spend a third-round pick on a linebacker. I think this is a day 3 pick. You're talking 5th, 6th or 7th round is probably what I would target.
Okay.
And once you get into that territory, then I'm just like, man, I don't like it. I don't like it. But what I will say,
I'm just curious to know why do you feel? I mean, who we had Bowman, and we had who else was our linebackers when we drafted Fred?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it was it. Man, I don't know.
I can't remember.
That was after. It was after Borland, I think.
Yeah, it was after Borland.
Yeah, because he retired.
Was Taquillo still with us? I don't think so. I remember it was Bowman, and then I remember them trying to make what was our safety into a linebacker. What year did we draft? We drafted Fred 2018.
Oh, you're talking about
it was Reuben Foster.
Reed.
Oh, Reuben Foster, right?
Yeah, it was Reuben Foster because we drafted Warner in 2018, correct?
Right, and we drafted
Mike in
2017, right?
My mama.
Hey, mama.
So if we're looking at the linebackers, here we go. Reuben Foster and Brock Coyle were our starters that year. And other linebackers that we had: Reuben Foster, Navarro Bowman, Brock Coyle, Ray Armstrong, Dakota Watson, Peta, Mark Nazocha, and Elijah Lee. Those are all the guys that were on the roster the year before.
Okay. I mean, so clearly we needed to draft a linebacker, I guess.
Well, yeah, Reuben Foster didn't pan out, and Fred Warner was better than he could have ever been, which I like. But the one guy that I do like, and I like Nick Hampton out of Appalachian State. Some people have him as, an edge rusher, but I think he's an off-the-ball backer. And, I mean, he fits the, 6'2", 236, and just athletic freak. He was unbelievable.
He's a tackler, John.
Yeah. He deadlifts 600 pounds, I mean, just unbelievable. But I think because he's a project, he's got to be a 6th or 7th round pick because you haven't seen him play off the ball linebacker. And so he's more of a rushing edge guy, but I think his spot in the NFL is going to be off the ball. So I want a high upside guy late.
Okay.
I want a project guy late at that position if we're going to draft there, but that's just me. Just because I think we're so solid there. The guys you mentioned, I am 100% content with the guys that you have there at the linebacker spot right now. Do I want to bring in some more competition? Yes. But I don't want a single. I don't want a double. I want to swing for the fences or a strikeout at the linebacker spot. That's just the way I see it.
All right. I mean, for me, I'm going with a guy that I know that will come in and compete. That's the linebacker out of Tulane, Dorian Williams.
Yes,
He
that's
ran
my guy.
4.49 as well, so he's pretty fast. But I think the thing that I like is guys that can cover. I'm sorry, you're seeing a lot of three wide receiver sets out there now, a lot of nickel packages. I'm not saying he could play in the nickel, but if Dre Greenlaw ended up getting injured or needed to be, spelled, and you put him back at the Sam linebacker so he could just focus on the run. Like, there's just so many ways you could use Dorian Williams, but he's definitely a weak side linebacker. He's the one that will cover and lock somebody down. I really like this kid. I'm sure he'll be available probably in the third round late, but like John said, if we don't spend on a linebacker, which we shouldn't, not at 99, maybe
Yeah,
at 101.
Running back there.
We got 3 picks, damn it. We could draft a linebacker, a running back, and a defense.
I would be so pissed if you took a linebacker and a running back in the third. You do one. I would be angry. I
don't think they draft a running back. I think that this running back class is deep, and there'll be guys that'll go undrafted, and the 49ers will sign somebody. I really
love it.
I really do. All right, let's get into this Trey Lance talk. That's it on the combine, guys. Oh, combine player to watch for today. Cornerback for today or safety for today. Who you got? Cornerback and safety. Mose, if you got yours up. John, if you got yours up. Lego.
I'm going to say, again, guys where the 49ers can get. I like Cam Smith. I think he's a fit. And I also like Kelly Ringo, who's probably going to go too early, but I like that guy too. So those are guys. We'll have to see how they go. And one more, Jacorian Bennett, Maryland.
I think he's a poor tackler, but I'm glad you like him because I've been thinking about him. Tackling is my thing.
Man, once you get to the third round, you're not getting like the clean prospects. You know what I mean? Man. Like they all have something wrong with them. That's why they're going to the third.
Somebody's
and it's
gonna fall, damn it. Okay. Somebody's gonna fall. Somebody.
I love it. I
hope. Okay. Mose, safety and the cornerback to look out for today.
Safety first. I'm gonna go. It's a couple of guys. I mean, if I give you one, Brandon Joseph from Notre Dame.
Okay.
Looking at Brandon Joseph. Cornerback. I don't understand what happened with his whole process. I got to look through it. But there was a time where this kid was on the trajectory to be the number 1 corner in the nation. I'm looking at Eli Ricks.
Okay.
Former LSU corner, now transferred to Alabama. I'm looking at Eli Ricks.
Okay. I could dig it. For me, safety. I want Jamie Robinson out of Florida State. I don't know if we'll be able to get him. I don't know if he'll be available. So if I had to pick a guy I know that should be available, look out for Trey Dean out of Florida. Trey Dean, the third out of Florida. I feel like he's just going to test very well today. I just got this really weird feeling. And then the cornerback, I'm bringing it back to the Gamecocks. Darius Rush. That's the cornerback that I'm hoping that will fall to the 49ers. If he's there round 3, we may go corner if it's a guy that they like. So Darius Rush, cornerback, out of South Carolina. And so that was my other Gamecock player that I would like. Let's get into this trade.
3-time academic honor roll for
and that was when you brought that up about the other player. That's what I had hit. Thank you, John. 3-time academic player, whatever John said. All right, so let's get to this Trey Lance stuff, right? So I know we heard the John Lynch thing, and I'm sure everybody has their take on it. And you know what? I tell you what, I gotta play it. So hold on, here we go.
Well, I think when we made the move to go up and get a guy like Trey, you don't do it just for one thing. You do it for a variety of things. Trey brings a lot to the table. I think, first of all, you talk with his makeup of his character, who he is as a person. We really believed in that, and we probably even stronger on that. You know, he does bring kind of that dual capacity where we felt like he could be a pocket passer, but also add another dimension as a runner. I think his biggest thing, we just got to find a way. And I've had a lot of conversations with Trey. Early in my career, struggled to stay healthy. And I hit an 8-year stretch where I didn't miss a snap. So sometimes you just got to go through that, you know, the rough patches. And, you know, he's got to play. And that's the you know, the biggest challenge. We got a team that's ready to go now. He's got to get out there and play. Brock got that opportunity this year. He grabbed it. He did great things. You know, we'll see at some point, you know, how we get Trey that opportunity, because we very much believe in who he is as a person and who he is as a quarterback.
So it's the end that I think is really hitting and touching people in a different way, right? You know, we'll see if we can get Trey the opportunity. We'll see if we can get Trey that opportunity. We'll see if we can get Trey. Like, what does that mean?
I would say this, you know, with what Brock did, and I'm going to, this is a nuanced answer. And so it's probably, you know, whatever. I might piss everybody off. That's my goal. I'm going to piss everybody off.
You're more than welcome to do it on this show.
So with what Brock did there, and he referenced this, there was no going back. Like what Brock was doing, you were on your way to a freaking Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And so, like, I kept saying, like, dude, this is awesome. I want this to continue forever. Then the injury happened. That changed things. And there's question marks with where Brock's at in his surgery. Hopefully we'll find out in the next week or two. But you don't know. And so if Brock is 100% healthy, is he going to be the guy? I think that's probably what everybody would like. But they've got a little bit of I don't know, Mario, whenever you get the like one up, like you've got an extra life right now.
Okay.
And so you might be able to let Trey get that opportunity. And you got that little extra, you know, token that you can use for another life in Brock Purdy. But I think they want to see Trey. I think they want to get Trey in there, but it's only because of the situation that happened to Brock. I don't think if Brock would have been healthy, I don't think this would have been much of a conversation this year. That's just my take on it.
Okay, Mose.
And the game of semantics is just it, and everybody talks about this. He's media trained,
correct?
John Lynch is one of the probably most well media trained GMs in the league that we have right now. So he knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it. Can you take what he says at face value all the time? Not really. And we are, unfortunately, we're stuck in a waiting game. Both players had injuries. Trey's was season ending. Brock essentially was season ending. And, you know, we'll have to see, you know, when he can even get the surgery, which will start the 6-month clock as far as the recovery time. So we don't know. Him saying, you know, we'll see if we can get Trey the opportunity. To me, it still puts the onus on Trey, where you have the opportunity. And if you want more opportunities, we will give them to you if you earn them. You know, everything has to be earned. If you ask Kyle Shanahan, you know, he goes into the season where, you know, he's looking at every single player on the roster and how can we get better. Now, is he going to trade a Nick Bosa or a Trent Williams? Absolutely not. But he's looking at every position on this roster and how can we get better? Where can we improve this team? So him saying that, you know, we'll look to get him opportunities, that puts the onus on Trey. If you earn your opportunities, you'll get more.
And like, I'll say this, I'm with you on the John Lynch. It's word salad. A lot of times he talks, it's just like, man, I can't find anything in here of value. And so people pick apart, you know, where his hands are and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's funny, but and I'm saying this, and I've been saying this. Trey Lance go start week 1. Like that's the way I see it, and I'm happy about that, and I want that. And I think the 49ers, I don't think this is a huge problem. The fact that you can have Trey Lance start week 1 and your worst case scenario is Brock Purdy coming in. Holy freaking cow. Wayne and I, we did the experiment where we went through every single team and we said, whose quarterback room would you prefer, the 49ers or this other team? And I think we said 10 teams we would take over the 49ers quarterback room. We're not in a bad spot, and there's potential at the wazoo, 22, 23-year-old kids. I'm excited, and whoever the week 1 starter is, that's probably not how it's going to finish. Both these quarterbacks are going to play this year.
I like it. So let me play devil's advocate a little bit. So I was on with Larry Kruger on his show yesterday. We talked about Trey Lance probably for like an hour because we're trying to figure out why doesn't it seem like Trey Lance is given the opportunity? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying Brock is hurt, so this is his opportunity. Cool, that's fine, whatever. But why does it seem like the national media, and I got the clip because they talked about bringing in Aaron Rodgers and all this type of stuff. We got to listen to Ian Rappaport. They talked about, no, I don't want it, but notice how I
That's
tell you
so
what,
dumb.
instead of me explaining it, let me just play it. It'll probably get flagged.
This clip is ridiculous.
It is
but
dumb.
I'm glad you're playing it, though. I'm glad you're playing it.
San Francisco's looking for a veteran quarterback, right?
Yeah, I saw that they might dip into that. Some of that will depend on Brock Purdy, his surgery, which I think is early. I think it's going to be early next week, if I'm correct.
Do they know? Like they know it's going to be able to be next week, or is it potentially still too swollen to do surgery?
They think it's going to be next week, but you're right. I mean, the same. You hope that the swelling has gone down. You hope that he's sort of cleared for surgery because that starts the clock. If he's not, then they probably have to look a little more heavily in a veteran quarterback. And I would never rule out Aaron Rodgers because I know previously there was at least a discussion of like, should the 49ers make a run at him? Like, it was last.
Aaron Rodgers
the
on
last
the Niners?
offseason.
Whoa.
You think that's real? Hold on. This is a big
don't
deal.
think that's
Get
real.
the ticker ready.
I don't.
Okay, you don't.
Okay.
I don't. Right, you're boozed up. Yeah, you're just saying fairy tale land. We're doing a
No, I mean the problem is like they may have the franchise quarterback already, and if Brock Purdy's going to miss, let's say he has to be delayed again, and he has to miss a month of the season. Like, okay, well, you're not going to bench Rodgers for Brock Purdy. Like it gets a little complicated. So I think they'll look into the veteran market, but I don't think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
I get so confused because I'm trying to figure out, like, is Trey Lance still on this team? Is he in the future plans of the 49ers? Because according to the national media, he isn't. And going off of this whole Lynch thing on Trey, I mean, to say what he said at the end, opposed to saying, yeah, Trey's going to get out there and, he started it off really good. And this is something that Larry pointed out. He started it off selling Trey Lance. He looked good. He can throw the ball. I don't know if he's 100% healthy. This is why we drafted him. He can do two things. He can throw. He can also move and out of the pocket. He could run. He could do all this type of stuff. And I'm saying to myself, okay, like I wasn't really buying into that. And then here comes some national clips. And Trey Lance's name isn't mentioned when they talked about franchise quarterback. They were talking about Brock Purdy. And that's not a shot at Brock. But I guess my question is, like, is Trey in the future plans of the Niners? I want to say yes. You're saying yes.
That was dumb.
Yeah, and I agree with John 100%. I think just like we talked about with the draft and these prospects in the combine, like we don't get the medical checks. We don't get the personal one-on-one interviews to kind of know who these guys are as a person, right? Let's keep it 100%. The national media was never sold on Trey Lance.
Mac Jones at 3, baby. It's a done deal.
Never sold on Trey Lance. So the minute he got in and got injured his rookie season, first with the thumb and then with the knee, it was the 49ers made a mistake. And then this coming year, we don't bring Jimmy Garoppolo back. We say Trey Lance is our starter. He gets injured week 2, broken ankle, and the 49ers make a mistake. Brock Purdy comes in and plays phenomenally well. And let's also keep that in perspective with a caveat. Brock Purdy got a team that was in midseason form.
Correct.
Brock Purdy got a team that was already on a 4-game win streak with Jimmy Garoppolo as a starter. So he just picked up and just continued to carry the, which is it's still tough to do. To still continue to win 6 games in a row, being a rookie quarterback, still tough to do. But there is a caveat to it.
Yeah,
But
context,
the
sure.
long and the short of it is the national media was never sold on Trey Lance, and they don't have the inside scoop unless they can tell me that they have a story or they have audio from John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan confirming this. They don't have the inside scoop as to what we're trying to do with our organization at the quarterback position. So they're biased to what they feel and believe, as well as anybody else's.
Now, make no mistake, I can give 2 flying farts about an Aaron Rodgers. This is not what I didn't play that for the Aaron Rodgers take. I think the fact that the reason why I played is because his name is mentioned, and then when they talked about franchise guy, they were alluding to Brock, and there was no mention of Trey Lance, period, in that whole conversation. Did you guys hear Trey Lance's name? I didn't hear his name once.
Not one. And that interview was a lot of recency bias. A lot of recency bias.
Well, then here's the thing. Why don't the 49ers do something about it?
What would they do? Like what? Like come out and say like Trey Lance's guy. The last time I heard Kyle Shanahan, he's like, yeah, we're going to roll with Trey. He's got to get all the 1 reps. He's got to get all those. And
yeah, but you're not hearing it now.
The last time he talked, it was the last time he talked though. Was Kyle Shanahan?
You talk about the end of the year presser?
Yeah, that's the last time Kyle Shanahan's talked to anybody.
No, you're right. So I guess what I'm saying is then we need to be taking that and then like broadcasting it everywhere because the coach spoke. I don't give a fuck about John Lynch.
Yeah.
Whatever the coach says goes anyway. Now, John Lynch could possibly see this is where it gets tricky, right? Because if a team comes to you, the quarterbacks in this draft suck. There's probably 3 to 4 that'll come in and could start day 1. And then there's some that is going to give you really good upside. And then there's the veterans that are on the market. And then there's a rookie. I mean, not a rookie, a guy like Trey Lance that possibly can get you some capital and back it to the first round. This is the part of general management I don't like, because I got this feeling from John Lynch that there's a slight possibility that there's going to be a team out there that's going to offer John Lynch a first round pick. And I'm not talking 20s. I'm talking 11. So you figure out the team.
You think we could get 11 for Trey?
Just figure out the team. There it is.
Tennessee.
Nah, I know the team, but
and let's say Ron Carthen is not high on Malik Turner. He didn't look good.
Willis.
Coaching staff sure as hell isn't.
Let's just say that. And he knows Trey. He loves Trey.
He was a part of the regime.
He was a part of drafting Trey.
Here's my thing, okay? And let's say, okay, phone rings, and I think these are conversations you need to have.
I'm sorry, John and Mose. This is not I don't want to do this, but we have to have this conversation.
John is right. We have to.
But these are conversations that happen. Let's say Tennessee calls and say, hey, man, we'll swap you the 11 pick for Trey. I'm saying no.
I'm saying no too. But what if they say, what if you counter and say, give me the 11th pick and a young stud? Like see?
Like who though?
Why did you trade up for Trey Lance? Why did you trade up for Trey Lance at all?
Because you were going to make him the future and the franchise quarterback of your
22.
team. And he's young and he's cheap. I got it. But then you also kind of messed up and drafted a quarterback that came in and did stuff that he wasn't supposed to be able to do.
And who isn't healthy and who you don't even. So again, you can't do that now, maybe after the surgery. So let's say the surgery in 2 weeks, it goes swimmingly. It's perfect. And the timetable's great. Then you could possibly have that conversation. You sure as hell can't have it right now when you don't know. Right. You got one healthy quarterback.
But think about how the cards are falling, right? Let's look at the picture. His surgery gets pushed back. The draft is in a month. Let's say you get the health report of Brock right before the draft. Brock is gonna recover great, right? That offer gets put on the table. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying it could possibly be an offer that they can't refuse. And now we're back in the first round.
But then what do you do at 11?
Yeah. You get Nolan Smith? Like, that's gonna like a situational pass rusher.
Because
if we
do that, here's what's gonna happen. If we do that, we trade Trey Lance, we get 11, and maybe we get another stud from Tennessee, young stud, young player, or whatever. Here's what's gonna happen, and half of the fan base is gonna be pissed.
Really?
At 11, half of the fan base is gonna be pissed, not because of the trade, but because of the pick.
Okay,
it's not going to be a sexy pick.
Okay,
where do John and Kyle love to draft?
Trenches.
Right tackle.
Trenches.
Tackle.
It's going to be a tackle.
Trenches.
It's gonna be Paris Johnson from Ohio State, or what's the kid from Northwestern?
But why would they be mad, Mose? If all they complain, every mother.
They want to be mad.
They all they keep saying is, "We need a tackle. We need a right tackle.
I get it, but because it's not sexy. Like if we make that trade, and with the 11th overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Peter Skoronski, tackle from Northwestern.
Let's go. We got a right tackle.
That's what real fans who understand football are going to do. But drafting an offensive lineman is never the sexy pick. Were you excited when we drafted Mike McGlinchey?
I didn't even know who the he was.
Exactly. So I was pissed too. I'm like, Mike McGlinchey. Who?
There was one lineman you drafted in that draft, and his name was Quentin Nelson.
So trading and not to say if this is going to be like a Javon Kinlaw thing, but to trade an asset for a high draft pick and it be a defensive tackle or an offensive lineman, it's not the sexy pick. And the fan base is going to be like, why the hell did we do this?
I want to add to this. You don't have to do this now. Trey Lance's value isn't going down for this year to next year. He's still under contract. You can do this next year once you figure it out. It's not figured out right now.
Good point.
So, like, the 49ers don't have to rush. This is a rookie contract deal.
Good point.
It's just chill. Just chill.
But here's the thing. This is why you may do it now. First of all, I love John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan for one main reason only. And when they like you, when they love you, they want to make sure that you go to the best possible situation that you can get to. Let's say Trey Lance and his family out there sitting there saying, listen, man, I get it. Brock did some stuff. I don't think my son's going to get the due diligence or the time or, he's going to get. Let's get my son out of here. Can we get him to a team, you know what I'm saying, where he's going to be able to probably compete and get that first spot 9 times out of 10. Let's just say that. And then the 49ers agree. All right, let's get him to Tennessee. He'll go to a guy that we know. Let's get him to Minnesota. That's close to home. Let's get him somewhere he can thrive in and stuff like that. He'll get reps. Then they can develop him. It's stupid conversation, guys. I promise it's real.
Yep.
I promise you it's real. Wayne Breezy does not want to trade Trey Lance. I wanted the Niners to draft Trey Lance. I want Trey Lance to play. Same. I want Trey Lance to get the whole season. F of Brock Purdy. Let Trey Lance come in there, and whatever happens, happens. And then we evaluate the two. What Brock needs to do is just relax the season and make sure that the elbow is 100%. Like that's got to be right. That ligament got to be on point. Because what if he comes back and he can't throw the ball and zip them quick slants like he used to because it ain't feeling right?
Brock, none of these guys are going anywhere. And like people keep forgetting that. Like there's no like we have a buzzer that we got to get things executed by. Trey Lance is younger than 11 out of 14 quarterbacks that are about to be drafted this year. He's younger than 11 of them. Like everybody's like, make or break. No, it's not. He's 22. Like the ceiling is still there. Every reason why you trade up for Trey Lance is still present. Strong arm, mobile, all those things. He just got hurt. That's what it is.
This comment by Vince. Do you think if they go all in on Trey that the 49ers would be throwing their season away?
Yeah, and I know who keeps throwing that out there, and that's just asinine to me. They went with him last year.
Right.
They went with him last year. Like, what does this coaching staff have to do? I don't know, man. I'm still getting Jimmy Garoppolo questions. Like, I feel like it's. I don't know.
I'm surprised they didn't come up here in the chat today. Like,
You guys, good listeners, man.
Yeah, I think we found a way to dead it. The last couple of episodes when, well, John Lynch pretty much deaded it. I think that's what it was. So, but we'll see what happens, guys. It's been a wonderful show. It's been great.
Always great.
I appreciate you guys on this Friday morning. John, I know you got a lot of work to get to. Mose, thank you for jumping in. I hope that you get a new wash machine, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming.
What brand you go with? Just curious.
LG.
I went Samsung. Okay. I went with Samsung because of the song at the end. Yeah, it got a dope ass song at the end. I hope LG can rock your socks off, dog. But that Samsung song be thumping at the end when your clothes are done.
I hate my stupid thing. It won't shut the hell up. I don't know how to turn it off. I cuss at that damn thing. Somebody open the damn dryer.
I should be playing Legend of Zelda theme music, yo. I'll be like, okay, I'm bopping. But nah, man, look, these are great conversations to have, man. When we get here, I like when we have this little round table, man, because it's tough, the only thing we can do going forward is just to kind of like take what they're giving us. And I'm hoping that Trey Lance does everything that Mo said. He goes out there and just shuts everybody the F up. Like, that's it. Go out there and prove it. But the only thing that sucks to me about that is that, man, this kid's going to be going into the season with so much pressure and weight on his shoulders. But I tell you what, if he can overcome this adversity, he's a goddamn grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's showing maturity. That's showing growth. That's showing a lot from Trey Lance, man. And so I'm wishing him the best. I'm praying for Brock's health. Brock's got to get healthy. First, he's got to get the surgery. Then he gets healthy. So we'll keep you up to date on that. John, let everybody know your next shows so that they can tune in. Mose, you could do the same after John, and we'll get up out of here.
Yeah, 49ers Rush. I'm not sure what my next show is. I'm not as scheduled as Wayne. He's much more organized than I am. I am a fly by the seat of my pants guy. But I'm just doing draft stuff for the next foreseeable future and commenting on the responsibility on Trey's shoulders. I just hope he can shed that responsibility one at a time, like dollar bills after a game, and just alleviate all that. No, I'm talking making it rain, with what he did.
I'm
whatever.
The dirt
That's
off
what I'm
shoes,
saying.
But I got you.
We've seen him shed singles. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. Now I see where you was going with it. All right.
Hey, man.
Mose, let them know, man, where they can find you, bro, and win.
Listen, I'm like John 100%. Wayne be making us look bad with all of he's so regimented. He get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting in a chair looking swole. Shows be on time every day. I'm like John. I got a lot going on. I got four kids. My job be acting crazy. Stuff going on in the house. Listen, I got stuff to do, so I gotta prioritize. But like John, I'm gonna be doing draft stuff. When I get off of here, I gotta throw some TikToks together. Follow me on TikTok, Mose knows. Just talking about some draft stuff. Going over my risers and fallers from the defensive linebacker group, and then my players to watch for today's group, defensive backs and special teams. I'm probably going to be working on a 49ers mock draft for the Patreon. So I'll put that together, throw that to Wayne Breezy. We'll throw that up on the Patreon. But that's what I got going on. Y'all know how to tap in with me. Love and appreciate all y'all.
Love and appreciate everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I do. We got one more contribution from Uncle Scott. Shout out to Uncle Scott. What's up, Wayne, John, and Mose? What DT in the draft that the 49ers will really target? So he wants to know, like, the real target, the real available target for the 49ers at defensive tackle.
Zach Pickens, man. I'm sticking with it.
I'm going Zach Pickens as well.
Double C.
I think it's consensus.
Double C.
He's
got the countdown crew in his name.
Y'all don't come up with a motherfucking name for my. I need a name. I want to call
I was thinking of something, but it was. I think it's corny.
Okay.
I don't want to say it. I'll say it off air. I think it's
no. You got to say it on air so they can tell you if it's corny or not.
You can call them the Breezers.
Oh, I was going corny too. I was going to say Breezy's Bunch, like Brady Bunch.
Brady's Bunch.
Yeah, you could like make a
I think
logo.
that was a
I
little
like
bit. I
that. The
think that's a
double
little better.
B's. I like the
like
Breezy's bunch.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mose.
No, that's fine. I told you mine was corny. I was going with the one word thing. Mine was
It's all
corny.
good. Breezy's bunch. Welcome to the Breezy's bunch. All right, Breezy Bunch crew.
Welcome to the Breezy Bunch. That's fire,
Let's
bro.
go.
That's fire.
Let's
The
go.
Breezy Bunch.
All right, listen, guys. Love y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend. Don't forget to check out the Combine. We'll be putting out videos all weekend long. Check out Moses' TikToks. Make sure you check out my TikToks. I'm going to get John on TikTok. We're going to be TikToking you don't stopping all weekend long. Y'all don't know what song that is, I bet. All right. Love y'all.
TikTok,
Stay
you
up.
don't
Stay
stop.
faithful.
TikTok,
Thanks for
you
watching,
don't
y'all. Peace out.